guys, and welcome to my channel. Firstly, apologies, the reflection of my glasses is really annoying. I may take them off, but I need to see. Also, secondly, my extensions are gone and I chopped off my hair to have a little bob, and I actually really like it. I had to chop it off because of like split ends. It was like down to about there, but it was all straggly and a bit rat-taily, so I just gave it a chop and it feels all nice and healthy. Really quickly want to say, oh my god, I can't even believe the response that I got to my last video discussing a Jehovah's Witness topic. It was just like incredible, the response that I got, the amount of subscribers that I got from it, the amount of comments that I got. It was amazing. Even to those people who were negative and very witnessy about it all, thanks to you as well, because the engagement all helps to get it up in the algorithm. So thank you, I really appreciate it, and keep those hate comments coming because that's what I like. I like the engagement and I like the comments because then it comes up more in the algorithm. So you keep doing you, boo. You're only helping me. Today we're going to be discussing a book which, if you grew up a Jehovah's Witness, you will know all too well, the Young People Ask book. It's basically a training book, a training document, coursework. There's a journal in there. I mean, it's got everything to make you the perfect little Christian child. It's for teenagers, obviously. I mean, it's called Young People Ask, so it's mainly for teenagers, young adults, when you're at a very formative age and a very impressionable age. So they try and get you then. Today we're going to be discussing the Jehovah's Witnesses' views on sex before marriage. Obviously, most people know when you talk about Christians, particularly very strict Christians, that they will teach no sex before marriage because it is in the Bible. But I'm mainly going to be going into the little nuanced ways that the Jehovah's Witnesses manage to control and fearmonger young people with the things that they say in this book. It's so sad looking back to think of the amount of time that I wasted and spent feeling guilty about everything. As ever, I've done some research, I've got some bits from articles, I've screenshot them, so that when I put them on the screen, you'll be able to see at the top what article it's from and what page it's on in the Young People Ask book. Not all of it's from the Young People Ask book, some of it's from Awakes and Watchtowers and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'll put it there, so if you do want to check context and just check that I'm not taking anything out of context, then I totally understand, because I'm the same. I like to have context for everything that I'm reading. So let's jump into it. So trigger warning for sexual topics. There's a little bit on sexual assault. So if those things are things that you really can't listen to, then I totally understand. It's mainly the way that the Jehovah's Witnesses word things that I'm going to be talking about, but regardless, if it's something that's going to be triggering for you, then please don't watch. So this is from the Young People Ask book, chapter 24. It's entitled, Will Sex Improve Our Relationship? Depends. Heather has been seeing Mike for only 2 months, but she feels as if she's known him forever. They text each other constantly, they talk for hours at a time on the phone, and they can even finish each other's sentences.
That's what I was going to say.
But now, as they sit in a parked car under the moonlight, Mike wants more than conversation. Dirty dog. During the past 2 months, Mike and Heather have done nothing more than hold hands and briefly kiss. Heather doesn't want to go further, but she doesn't want to lose Mike. No one makes her feel so beautiful, so special. Besides, she tells herself, Mike and I are in love. Okay. So initially when I read this, the first thing that came to my mind, which I've, seen in like other people's channels who cover topics like this, Heather may not know her sexual inclination at this point. She could be gay, she could be bi, she could be asexual, she could be super into Mike's peen. Like, it's not to say that she has to have sex to find out what she wants, because a lot of people know what they want already. But if she's only been taught that no is the only acceptable answer and anything other than no is not okay, then how is she supposed to figure out whether she wants to do it or not? Because she may want to, but it's the guilt of the fact that she's been taught no is the only acceptable response to that, is going to stop her from being able to experiment if that's what she wants. And if she'd been taught how to discuss sex, the thing is with Jehovah's Witnesses is it's always abstinence. There's never anything about safe sex, consensual sex, how to figure out if you want to do it, how to make sure that you are in control of a situation. There's none of that. It's all abstinence. You have to say no. No is it. So people can get themselves into situations where they don't want to be there, but because they've got no training as to how to handle these situations and what exactly is a healthy consensual relationship, they can't even discuss these things. So if she had been taught how to figure out what she wants and discover what she's into, then she could have had an open communication with Mike and not just go into it being scared of premarital sex because she's scared of the outcome. Next thing is, oh, it's bad. So I'll just read it. Deep down, many girls would prefer someone who will protect them, not use them. And many boys, why are we talking about boys and girls? And many boys find that they are less attracted to a girl who has given in to their advances. In addition to the above, a number of boys have said that they would never marry a girl they've had sex with. Why? Because they prefer someone who is more chaste. Did you know, after having sex, a boy is more likely to abandon his girlfriend and move on to someone else? Right, cite your fucking sources. What does that mean? Who has said that? What statistics are you pulling this from? Did you know that after having sex, a boy is more likely to abandon his girlfriend? Give me some stats, because and also they're talking about boys. Okay, well, I don't want to have sex with a boy. I want to have sex with a man. Some women want to have sex with women. Some people don't want to have sex with anyone. Some people want to have sex with both at the same time. Like, what's that got to do with it? Nobody, if we're talking about having sex with boys, we're talking about a whole different thing. We should be talking about having sex with men. And yes, boys could have this mental opinion, but men won't. A true man will think, I will have sex with them if I want to, and their virginity doesn't equal anything about them. And virginity is a concept anyway that's created to keep women subservient. So it just blows my mind. Like, well, okay, can you point out who you spoke to in this article? Because I'll avoid them. Nobody wants to make mistakes in life. Nobody wants to have to make a mistake. But sometimes, I know personally, the mistakes and the experiences that I've had in life have brought me to where I am now. And I wish I'd never had to experience them, but I am grateful that I got through those experiences. And again, it's just scaring kids into, if you do any of this, you will feel guilty. And if you tell someone enough, you'll feel guilty if you do this, what are they going to do? Feel guilty, because that's what you've conditioned them to feel. This next one got me tripping. So this is from the Young People Ask book, from a different chapter. What about casual sex? What about it, you offering? Okay, so this person, Peter from Britain. Remember that you are somebody's son or daughter, a friend to many people, a part of a congregation. You would let all those people down if you gave in. Peter, chill. Such a stupid thing to say. That's the thing with religions and you know, well, I can't speak for all religions, but that's the thing with Jehovah's Witnesses 100%, is you'll let Jehovah down, you'll let this person down, you'll let me down. Like, you'll let everybody down if you do this thing. It's not your job in life to look after everyone else's feelings. As a child, most of the time, children want to make their parents happy. And so when you've been reading things like this from such a young age, that everyone will be disappointed in you, you can't help but think, oh, well, then I can't do it because I'll let them down. It's almost like, if telling you how bad you'll feel if you do this doesn't work, then I'll say, but I'll be sad. And then you'll do what I say. It's just so disgusting. And then this could feed into the turmoil that many Jehovah's Witness people have when they do give in, that they gave in and feel like they're to blame if something happened to them that wasn't what they wanted. They think, oh, but I was in this situation and maybe it's my fault. And this feeds into my next point, which, trigger warning, and I'm really angry at this bit. So Jehovah's Witnesses don't tend to cite many older articles in their newer ones, I've noticed. They tend to say new information. So I thought it was interesting in this Questions from Readers from 2017, so not too long ago. So this one says, regarding the matter of defending oneself against, see the article How to Prevent in the March 8th, 1993 issue of Awake. So that's like a month before I was born. That's 28 years ago. Come on now. But I feel like they think this article did something. I think they think this really backs them up and makes them look great. It doesn't, but it's better than what we're going to read in a minute. So I'll just read it in its entirety. The best way to avoid a rape situation is to avoid rapists. Okay, I'm not going to read it in its entirety. The fuck? The thing with sexual assaulters is they tend to have this funny way of not acting like it until they do it. You should be aware of a pattern of behaviour in men, even when you know well, that may identify him as a potential arist. Some men will use a woman's style of dress or her willingness to be alone with him as an excuse to R her. While a woman isn't responsible if a man holds such warped views, she would be wise to recognise such attitudes. On one side, for Jehovah's Witnesses, this is pretty woke, like to say, oh, this is a warped view. But as Brandon pointed out, warped is not the right word. Criminal is the right one. Not like, oh, it's just a bit twisted. Like, it's criminal. Don't call it warped. Like, it's, they're onto something, but it's slightly twisted. No, they're not. Don't allow yourself to be isolated with a man you don't know well. Even with one you know well, use discretion. A stranger artist may come to your home pretending to be a repairman. Check his credentials. An acquaintance artist often gets victims alone by inventing errands that require a stop by his home, or by lying about there being a group of people at a meeting place. Don't fall for it. And this is the thing, because what do you mean don't fall for it? They'll find a way to get you alone if they want to, and whatever happens is not your fault. Regardless, if you sat in their car all night, if they raped you, they're 100% guilty. It's got nothing to do with you being there, you letting yourself be in a situation. Like, this just feeds into, oh, well, I was in the car with them, so maybe I should take some of the responsibility. No! There's also a bit which talks about fighting back, and it says fighting back can be difficult for women because they have been conditioned for a lifetime to be polite, passive, and submissive even when threatened by physical force. What do you mean? You say it like some mysterious person conditioned you to feel this way. You did! The Bible did! It's just so ironic that religion is the one that conditions women to feel this way, and you're saying it can be difficult because you've been conditioned to be submissive. I don't know who told you that, but you've been conditioned to feel this way by you. So you're admitting that you're conditioning women to feel a certain way, and that puts them in dangerous situations where they feel like they can't fight back because they're going to be rude. Ugh. But then the article in the Young People Ask book, so this is the more modern one, this was in 2011 I think, and the article we just read was in 93, but for some reason a Watchtower in 2017 is quoting the one in 93, not the Young People Ask book in 2011, so that's really weird. Says, don't send mixed messages, avoid flirting or dressing provocatively. Such actions may send the message that you're interested in getting physical, or at least that you won't object to it. What? You're just completely going against what you said, that it's the man's warped view, criminal, that they would feel this way about you. Well, then you're saying don't dress this way because you're giving the impression that you're up for it. And talk about boundaries. If you're dating, discuss with the other person what conduct is and is not appropriate. Once you have set boundaries, do not put yourself in compromising situations in which you could be abused. It made me think of like vampires, how they can't enter a house unless they're invited. Is that what they think sexual predators are like? Like if there's a boundary that's been said, they're like, oh, well, I can't breach it now. Like, there's a boundary in place. Assaulters have this way of, you know, wanting to break boundaries. That's literally, you know, a particular kind of artist's get off, the power that someone has got a boundary and I'm going to push it and break it. There was, which I'll put in a clip here, of, we were watching Sunsea and Suspicious Parents. There was the Jehovah's Witness couple on with their daughter who had left when she was 14 or something, and they were watching her. And there was this one line which really, really summed it up for me, and here it is.
I suppose I, you know, for momentarily was more worried about them being in the sea at that time of night with that amount of alcohol in them, which probably took my mind off what they were doing.
It's the fact that she, in that moment, was like, oh, for a moment I was more worried about her dying than breaking Jehovah's rules. So this was just kind of a cursory overview because I was getting really pressed looking at all of this. But if you want me to go more in depth, and if there's an article that you know of that you want me to look at and say my thoughts on, then let me know. I just feel like all of this combined makes it so dangerous, and people don't fully understand. They don't have the tools to understand, you know, what is safe and what isn't, the tools to be able to, you know, invite someone around because they want to do something but they want to feel safe. They have to go somewhere else, find somewhere to do something, and that can lead to really dangerous situations. It's just so sad that rather than thinking, okay, this is a normal part of life, my child could be could have sexual desire, they could not, but let's err on the side of they may do, and when they come to me and say I want to do this, I'm going to help them in the best way I can to do it in a safe way and to make sure that they have the tools to deal with it. Not, I'm going to tell them to say no, I'm going to tell them they're going to disappoint me, I'm going to tell them they're going to disappoint Jehovah and that they're going to regret it. And then if that doesn't work, then I'll just tell them that they were the reason this happened and they should feel guilty and pray to Jehovah and say sorry. It's just not the way to do it. They're just so frustrating, they're so annoying. But I hope that you found this video interesting or informative. If, like I said, if you have anything that you would like me to look at or any articles that you think are interesting that you want me to kind of give my take to, then let me know. Again, I so appreciate the response to my last video about this, and it's just so lovely to hear from people who feel, you know, that the video was helpful, and I hope that going forward I can talk about more topics and hopefully shed a bit of light on them and make some people feel like they're not alone, and that these things do take some time to, you know, debrief from and to come away from, and to realise how you actually feel about things. You know, when you've lived your whole life being told what to do, it can be very difficult to form opinions of your own. So I really hope that this was helpful, and yeah, make sure that you like this video, subscribe, let me know down in the comments what you thought and any comments that you have, even if they're negative. Keep up the engagement, and yeah, I so appreciate you checking this out and being with me, and I love you very much, and take care of yourself. Okay, bye.